Hi, I'm Muggs McConnell, and this is another Snippets of Yoga Philosophy. We've been talking a little bit about karma, and I thought I would like to discuss with you the doctrine of reincarnation. So we don't need to believe in this doctrine. I'm simply sharing with you this bit of information about the doctrine of reincarnation. And I learned about it through the studies in Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and the introduction to karma and its impact. So, when we are born, we come into a body, our soul comes into our body, and we grow and evolve through our life. We may have a short life, we may have a long life, and that is dependent upon the karma of that we will be working out in this lifetime. The thought is, or the belief in this doctrine of reincarnation, is that when we die, then we go into an in-between state, an in-between world between death and rebirth. And in that time, we assess what we have learned, what lessons we have learned, and what lessons we didn't. So throughout my lifetime, it was explained to me that when you die, you see your life before your eyes. It flashes before your eyes and you have this little review. So in this in-between state, you may be taking assessment from many lives. And I learned this lesson and I didn't get this lesson. And this is one that I did really well. And this one, I guess I still have to work on it. And so you take an assessment of where you have evolved in your spiritual evolution and reaching enlightenment. Enlightenment is considered a karma-free state. So when we reach enlightenment, we move beyond karma. It's a karma-free state, and we don't need to come back into this world anymore. Some of our great teachers do. For example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna comes back to help bring peace to the world, to help bring order back into the world. And Arjuna is tasked with leading the battle of righteousness to bring good back to the world. And so Krishna has no karma to work out, but he chooses to come back in a body, in a form, to help bring this order back into the world and to help Arjuna understand what he needs to do in order to accomplish this. So we're all in this body, we're all trying to do our best, we're evolving as best we can. And so this in-between state gives us the opportunity to assess what lessons we didn't bring equanimity to and what we need to go back and bring harmony and balance to. So in order to do that, then we select where we want to come into this world so that those lessons, those teachings can be presented to us. So we choose the family, the environment, the country, the whatever situation in order to come back and deal with those lessons. And when we begin to realize this, life can become easier because we look at the challenges. These are the lessons being presented to us in order to evolve and grow. And often we have habitual reactions. So the lesson keeps presenting itself because we keep reacting to it in the same way. When we change our behaviors to respond consciously, think about, how can I do this differently? What am I supposed to learn from this? Or in the great words of Eric Schiffman, what is the truth here really? And do this, the practice of svadhyaya, self-study. go into meditation and ponder, why am I in this situation again? Or for the first time, maybe you'll be lucky and balance it out in the first time because you're taking conscious effort to understand why you are faced with this challenge in life. Why is my job so challenging? Why is my partner so challenging? What is going on? Why can't I, overcome this? Why does it keep happening to me? Those questions are cues right there to do some self-study. And how could I look at the situation differently? Because we see things through our perspective, our eyes, and it's filtered through all of our life experiences and circumstances already. So we already have a bunch of judgment that we put on every single situation. And there's always more than our side to everything. So I think I might have said this story previously, but I'll say it again anyway. And when we encounter people who are difficult, we have no idea what is going on for them in that day. They could have just been yelled at by somebody else. They could be struggling because of an illness for them or for someone else, or on any number of things. And so to try and be compassionate in those first situations can make a big difference. To bring a smile to someone who isn't having a good day is a good start to balance things, rather than, if they're not having a good day, taking on their vibe. There's no need to take on their vibe. Maybe give out a positive energy toward others. So one day my husband Bob went into a bakery and there was nobody at the counter, but he could hear somebody in the back. And he was really needing to get going on his day, but he needed to pick some bread up as well. And so he was starting to feel irritated that nobody was serving him at the counter. And eventually a woman came out, and instead of getting angry with her and saying, simply said, "You must be having a bad day," or "You must be really busy today." And the person said, "Oh, yes, my staff didn't show up today, so I'm having to watch the ovens in the back and at the same time watch the counter." And so, he gave her a smile and said, "Well, this is what I need." And rather than getting angry with her, he greeted her with some understanding and compassion, and they shared smiles with each other. And he walked away feeling a lot better about himself and into his day feeling a positive energy, rather than walking away after having been annoyed and angry with someone. So he shifted the response, the reaction that he had to this little bit of a challenging situation, not a big challenge, but a little one. And then that impacted how he felt for the rest of his day. So I just wanted to point out in that to remove the judgment of the situations that we're encountered with, and try to respond differently than our habitual ways. And it may just eventually even out the karmic responses. Usually our lessons are much bigger than that, whether we find ourselves in, repetitively negative job situations or whatever it is, especially if it's repeating itself. You find yourself in the same place over and over. There is indeed a lesson to be learned in that. And to try to do that self-study, svadhyaya, and contemplate how you can change your behavior toward that, because it all starts with us. It's our journey, our world, our life that we are facing the challenges, and how can we shift the energy to rise above those challenges. So then so this doctrine of reincarnation, just very clearly, when we die, we do an assessment of our lives. We decide what it is we need in order to come back into world again, to be presented with those lessons so we can learn them this time around. And then when that journey is done, we leave the body again and go on, and we may learn really quickly and have very few cycles of reincarnation, or we may have a lot of work to do and learn a lot. It's not a judgment. It just is what it is, and how we evolve spiritually in our lives and how we behave in this world toward ourselves and others. So I hope that sheds a little bit of light on the doctrine of reincarnation. As I say, you don't need to adopt it. I'm just trying to share some wisdom about it. And then when we see others who are living or dying, it may help us to be more compassionate toward their situation and not assume that what is going on is necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's part of their journey, and whatever we can do to assist them on their journey is beneficial in a positive way. So thank you for joining me. I hope you have a beautiful day.